Some billionaires won't even go on a first date until you sign a legal NDA, with penalties reaching $1 million if you talk. Others outsource romance to matchmakers charging up to $1.5 million, complete with background checks, simulated dates, and home inspections. This is how the richest men secretly date women. The NDA before the first date. Let's start with something that would make most of us run for the hills on a first date: the non-disclosure agreement. You might think of NDAs as something you sign when you start a new job at a tech company, but in the world of billionaire dating, they've become as common as flowers and chocolates. Now, before you judge too harshly, consider the reality these men face. When you're worth billions, every person you meet represents a potential leak to the press, a possible lawsuit, or an opportunity for exploitation. Ultra-wealthy individuals frequently incorporate background checks into early dating stages as protective measures. It's not romantic, certainly, but it's practical in a world where a single indiscreet text message can become front-page news. Lori Harvey, for instance, the model and socialite, reportedly imposes a $1 million penalty for breaches in her dating NDAs. That's right, $1 million if you so much as mention what you talked about over dinner. Rapper Jack Harlow takes a slightly softer approach, presenting NDAs optionally but making it clear they're necessary for privacy, with the dates sometimes consulting their own lawyers before signing. But the NDAs are just the beginning. Background checks, sometimes conducted by private investigators, verify identities and histories to avoid scams or incompatible partners. And these aren't your standard criminal record checks either. We're talking about investigations that can cost anywhere from $15,000 to $30,000 for thorough examinations, probing everything from financial histories to social media activity to past relationships. One individual reportedly paid an Israeli security firm to screen potential dates for red flags, including any past involvement in adult content. It sounds extreme, but when you consider that these men face constant threats from people motivated by wealth rather than genuine connection, perhaps it starts to make a certain kind of sense. Even royalty isn't immune to this scrutiny. When Kate Middleton was dating Prince William, she underwent extensive background checks, though, thankfully, the historical practice of verifying virginity, as was allegedly done with Princess Diana, has been abandoned. The criticism of these practices is valid, however. Critics argue NDAs foster mistrust, starting relationships on a formal, unequal footing. They can create power imbalances where the wealthy party holds all the cards, and there are legitimate concerns that such agreements could be used to conceal misconduct, as was infamously the case with Harvey Weinstein. The $1 million matchmakers. If you think signing an NDA before a date is unusual, wait until you hear about the industry that has sprung up to help billionaires find love. We're talking about professional matchmaking services that charge fees ranging from $20,000 to over $1 million for their services. These aren't your grandmother's matchmakers. Professional matchmaking services cater specifically to ultra-wealthy clients by offering personalized, confidential introductions that go beyond traditional dating methods. The industry has exploded as more billionaires realize that swiping through dating apps isn't just impractical, it's potentially dangerous. One of the most prominent players in this space is Gina Hendricks, who charges up to $100,000 per year for her services. Her client list reportedly includes sports team owners, Bitcoin investors, and Netflix stars. She personally scouts for potential matches via Instagram and LinkedIn, provides at least 8 introductions per year, and even travels globally to meet with clients. Janice and Carly Spindle, whose services range from $75,000 to an eye-watering $1.5 million. For that price, clients receive simulated dates to assess compatibility, home visits to evaluate living environments, and access to over 50 scouts recruiting potential matches globally. They've been known to reject clients they deem pompous or emotionally unbalanced, because even at these prices, matchmakers maintain standards. Amy Anderson's Lynx Dating operates on a referral-only basis and maintains a database of over 25,000 vetted individuals. Her packages range from $150,000 to over $500,000 and include not just introductions, but wardrobe consulting and energy coaching, whatever that means when you're worth $500 million. Kelleher International claims an 87% success rate and has reportedly matched celebrities including NFL player Terrell Owens and journalist Hoda Kotb. Their services range from $30,000 to $300,000 per year and include exclusive events like private island retreats, plus bonuses for matchmakers when clients get engaged. The process these services use is remarkably thorough. It typically begins with extensive consultations where clients detail their preferences on everything from age and education to lifestyle choices like veganism and political alignment. Simulated dates assess manners and social skills, while home visits evaluate whether someone actually lives the life they claim to live. Only then do the curated introductions begin. But here's the thing that might surprise you. Despite advantages, drawbacks include exorbitant costs without guarantees, limited match pools, and potential mismatches. Some agencies have faced criticism for inflated fees, allegedly lying about memberships or treating relationships as commodities. Lawsuits have arisen over unsatisfactory results, reminding us that even when you're paying seven figures, love isn't guaranteed. Yachts, penthouses, and private islands. Now, let's talk about where these secretive romances actually take place. Because when you're worth billions, a corner booth at a nice restaurant simply won't cut it. Yachts serve as floating private havens, often hosting romantic getaways or gatherings where dating occurs away from land-based surveillance. The appeal is obvious. Anchored in international waters, these vessels operate beyond standard jurisdictions and away from the prying lenses of paparazzi. Some of the most sophisticated super yachts even feature anti-paparazzi lasers and other advanced countermeasures to ensure absolute privacy. Take Jeff Bezos, for example. The Amazon founder frequently uses his $500 million yacht Kourou for time with his partner. The vessel has become the setting for everything from foam parties to holiday cruises in St. Bart's, where onboard events keep activities suitably low-key. With 40 crew members serving just 18 guests, the Kourou offers a level of privacy that no five-star hotel could match. But there's a darker side to this yacht culture that's worth acknowledging. The term yachting has evolved into a euphemism for high-end transactional companionship, often involving young women, models, actresses, or influencers who are invited aboard super yachts for events that can blend partying, networking, and more intimate activities. Unlike traditional dating, these arrangements can offer participants significant financial incentives, ranging from $25,000 to seven figures per trip, along with gifts, career opportunities, or introductions to influential networks. For urban billionaires, penthouses in exclusive buildings like New York City's Central Park Tower provide similar privacy, with features like private elevators and round-the-clock security to avoid exposure. These spaces host intimate dates or parties, offering convenience that yachts can't match while maintaining the seclusion that billionaire romances require. And then there are the truly extreme measures. When Bill Gates got married in 1994, he famously bought out all hotel rooms on Lanai, Hawaii, and hired every helicopter on the island to block aerial paparazzi. It's the kind of move that perfectly encapsulates the lengths the ultra-wealthy will go to protect their private moments. Google co-founder Larry Page has taken a different approach entirely, reportedly hiding out on private islands in Fiji that he's purchased for personal retreats. When you can buy your own island, privacy becomes less of a concern. You simply own the entire environment. Elon Musk. No discussion of billionaire dating would be complete without examining the romantic life of perhaps the world's most public-private person, Elon Musk. With at least 14 children from 4 different women, Musk's approach to relationships offers a fascinating case study in how the ultra-wealthy navigate love, family, and discretion. Musk's romantic journey began long before he was worth hundreds of billions. As a student at the University of Pennsylvania in the mid-1990s, he dated Jennifer Gwynn, In what would become a harbinger of his later grand gestures, Musk gifted her a 14-carat gold necklace featuring a small green emerald sourced from his father's Zambian emerald mine as a birthday present in late 1994. That same necklace sold at auction in 2022 for over $51,000, a testament to both the value of Musk memorabilia and the relatively modest beginnings of his romantic gestures. His first marriage to Justine Wilson was anything but modest, however. After meeting at Queen's University in Ontario and pursuing her persistently, including showing up with ice cream cones when she stood him up for a date, they married in January 2000. Their lifestyle was the definition of extravagant. Multiple luxury homes, including a 20,000-square-foot mansion in Bel Air, private jet travel, and attendance at elite events. Wilson later described feeling like a trophy wife, particularly after Musk allegedly told her during their wedding dance that he was the alpha in the relationship. But it's Musk's more recent relationships that best illustrate the balancing act between privacy and publicity that billionaires must navigate. His romance with Neuralink executive Shivan Zilis represents perhaps the most discreet of his partnerships. Their relationship, which began around 2021, has been kept largely out of the spotlight, with no public outings or joint statements initially. They share 4 children: twins Strider and Azure, born in November 2021, daughter Arcadia in 2024, and son Selden Lycurgus in 2025, all conceived via IVF and revealed through court documents rather than public announcements. Contrast this with his very public relationship with musician Grimes, which debuted at the 2018 Met Gala and included children with names like XAAZ and Exa Dark Siderel. While their relationship played out partially in the public eye, private aspects included surrogacy details and custody disputes, with Grimes later noting that Musk's political shifts strained their bond. His brief but intense romance with actress Amber Heard was, according to Walter Isaacson's biography, brutal and involved jealousy accusations and emotional turmoil, a reminder that even billionaires experience the messiness of human relationships. Jeff Bezos. If Elon Musk represents the chaotic, prolific approach to billionaire romance, Jeff Bezos offers a different narrative. One of a clandestine affair that exploded into public scandal before ultimately becoming a celebration of wealth on an unprecedented scale. The relationship between Bezos and Lauren Sanchez began in secrecy around 2018, involving helicopter flights, private jet travel, and luxury hotel hideaways while both were still married to their respective spouses. They reportedly covered an estimated 40,000 miles in their covert rendezvous, using aliases and intermediaries to book accommodations and avoid detection. But in January 2019, everything came crashing down. The National Enquirer published leaked intimate text messages and photos, revealing an 8-month affair. The source of the leak was later identified as Sanchez's own brother, Michael, who allegedly sold the information for $200,000. What followed was even more dramatic. Bezos accused AMI, the Enquirer's parent company, of blackmail and extortion, threatening to publish more intimate photos unless he ceased investigating the leak. Meanwhile, allegations emerged that Bezos's phone had been hacked via a WhatsApp message from an account linked to Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, potentially as retaliation for the Washington Post's coverage of the Jamal Khashoggi murder. While the FBI later found insufficient proof of this connection, the incident highlighted just how intertwined personal privacy and geopolitical intrigue can become at the billionaire level. The affair accelerated the end of Bezos's 25-year marriage to Mackenzie Scott, resulting in one of the most expensive divorce settlements in history, approximately $38 billion, 4% of Amazon's stock at the time. Learning from this experience, Bezos reportedly drafted a comprehensive prenuptial agreement before his engagement to Sanchez in 2023. And what an engagement it was. The proposal occurred on Bezos' Bezos's super yacht Kourou off the coast of Cannes, featuring a 15 to 20 carat pink diamond ring, estimated at $2.5 to $5 million. But even this paled in comparison to their June 2025 wedding in Venice, Italy. The multi-day affair reportedly cost between $46 to $56 million, involving the rental of San Giorgio Maggiore Island, over 100 private jets transporting guests, and attendance by celebrities including Bill Gates, Oprah Winfrey, the Kardashians, and Leonardo DiCaprio. Sanchez's jewelry alone was valued at $20 to $30 million. The wedding sparked protests from locals and climate activists, highlighting the environmental impact, while critics like Bernie Sanders called the expense obscene against the backdrop of Amazon's layoffs and wealth inequality debates. It was, in many ways, the ultimate expression of how billionaire romance operates: lavish, public when it suits them, and utterly beyond the comprehension of ordinary mortals. Bill Gates. Bill Gates presents yet another model of billionaire dating, one where open secrets circulated within his inner circles for decades, before finally becoming public knowledge following his 2021 divorce from Melinda French Gates. Reports suggest Gates had a pattern of pursuing romantic interests in the workplace, described by former employees as an internal open secret at Microsoft. In 2000, he had an intimate relationship with a Microsoft engineer, which was amicable at the time but later investigated by Microsoft's board in 2019 after the employee raised concerns, an investigation that reportedly contributed to his stepping down from the board in 2020. Separately, in 2008, Microsoft executives warned him about inappropriate emails with another female employee, though no formal action followed. But perhaps the most unusual aspect of Gates's romantic life was his arrangement with ex-girlfriend Anne Winblad, a software entrepreneur. Even after marrying Melinda in 1994, Gates continued annual long weekend vacations with Winblad at her North Carolina Outer Banks beach cottage, an arrangement reportedly approved by Melinda before the wedding. These weekends involved dune buggy rides, hang gliding, beach walks, and what Winblad described as deep discussions on biotechnology and the world. The cottage, Castle Sween, reportedly rents for just $2,700 for 3 nights, hardly extravagant by billionaire standards. But the continuation of these trips throughout Gates' marriage raises eyebrows. Winblad called them kindred spirits, and Gates reportedly sought her blessing before proposing to Melinda, citing her intellectual stamina. The contribution of these various relationships to Gates' divorce remains somewhat opaque. Melinda has publicly referenced the 2000 affair as something they had worked through, but indicated that ongoing trust erosion, including from his meetings with convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein, made the marriage unsustainable. Gates has admitted to mistakes and expressed regret for causing pain, without denying the affair's impact. The Epstein connection added another layer of complexity. Gates met Epstein multiple times starting in 2011, allegedly for philanthropic networking, despite Epstein's prior sex crime conviction. Gates later called these meetings a huge mistake, an alleged 2017 extortion attempt by Epstein, leveraging knowledge of Gates' 2010 affair with Russian bridge player Mila Antonova, highlighted how even billionaires can find their private lives weaponized against them. Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett, the legendary investor known for his folksy wisdom and frugal lifestyle, might seem an unlikely candidate for this list. Yet his personal life included one of the most unconventional domestic arrangements in billionaire history, one that lasted decades without ever becoming a scandal. Buffett married Susan Thompson in 1952, and they had 3 children together. But in 1977, Susan moved to San Francisco to pursue her singing career, leaving Warren in Omaha. They never divorced, remaining legally married for 52 years until her death in 2004. But here's where it gets interesting. Susan introduced Warren to Astrid Menks, a Latvian immigrant working as a cocktail waitress at a club where Susan occasionally performed. Susan asked Astrid to check on Warren and provide companionship. This evolved into Astrid moving into the Buffett home, creating a living arrangement where Warren resided with Astrid while remaining married to Susan. The trio developed a close, amicable bond, often seen together publicly and in a detail that somehow perfectly encapsulates the whole arrangement, signing Christmas cards as Warren, Susie, and Astrid. How did this remain scandal-free? For one, all three parties were reportedly content with the arrangement. Family members, including their children, expressed approval, viewing it as beneficial for all involved. Buffett himself later reflected that Susan put me together and Astrid keeps me together. This wasn't a secret affair or a betrayal. It was, apparently, a consensual arrangement that worked for everyone involved. After Susan's death from oral cancer in 2004, Buffett married Astrid in 2006. The ceremony was quintessentially Buffett, a 15-minute civil ceremony at his daughter's house, followed by dinner at Bonefish Grill. The wedding ring was reportedly purchased at a discount. In a world of $55 million, Venice weddings, and multi-million-dollar engagement rings, Buffett's approach stands as a reminder that not all billionaire romances require extravagance. Bernard Arnault, privacy as a family value. If Warren Buffett represents the folksy extreme of billionaire romance, LVMH chairman Bernard Arnault represents the opposite, a man for whom privacy isn't just a preference but a carefully maintained family value. Arnault prioritizes family privacy to such an extent that limited public details exist on his personal matters, even as his 5 children hold prominent positions within LVMH. When his private jet was being tracked on Twitter in 2022, he simply sold it and switched to rentals to preserve anonymity. When you're worth over $150 billion, the solution to privacy concerns is often just making the problem disappear. The one glimpse into the personal lives of the Arnault family that has captured public attention involves Bernard's son, Frederick, CEO of LVMH watches, and his rumored relationship with Blackpink singer Lisa. Speculation began in June 2022 when Frederick followed Lisa on Instagram and attended a Blackpink concert in LA. Since then, they've been spotted at dinners in Paris, at Coachella, at Monaco yacht parties. Unverified claims from Chinese media in late 2025 even suggested a secret French marriage, though neither party has confirmed anything about their relationship. The silence is entirely consistent with the Arnault family approach: maintain absolute discretion, let others speculate, and never confirm or deny. This strategy extends to all family matters. The family maintains their position through structures like the Protect Invest Foundation, established in Belgium in 2008 to lock family shares, ensuring stability and long-term control. Monthly family lunches in LVMH's private dining room discuss strategy and performance. Bernard has dismissed comparisons to HBO's Succession, emphasizing a collaborative rather than contentious dynamic. The quiet luxury of billionaire attraction. Beyond the NDAs and the matchmakers and the super yachts, there's another dimension to how the ultra-wealthy navigate dating: the subtle signals they use to attract partners without explicitly flaunting their wealth. Many billionaires opt for simple, logo-free clothing from high-end brands, signaling status through quality rather than flashiness. This approach, often called quiet luxury or stealth wealth, emphasizes craftsmanship over ostentation. Mark Zuckerberg's plain gray t-shirts? They're reportedly from Brunello Cucinelli, costing anywhere from $400 to $1,000 each. Elon Musk's unassuming wardrobe similarly draws from high-end brands that those in the know would recognize, but which appear ordinary to the casual observer. The philosophy extends beyond clothing. Behavioral signals like prioritizing time efficiency, generous but understated tipping, and avoiding public displays subtly convey affluence without drawing attention. A billionaire might insist on picking up the dinner bill quietly, or tip $100 on a $180 receipt without fanfare, demonstrating ease with money rather than a need to display it. Time sovereignty is another marker. Billionaires outsource tasks to reclaim hours for personal pursuits, treating time as the ultimate luxury. They'll pay premium prices to avoid lines, fly private to eliminate delays, and hire staff for any task that doesn't require their personal attention. This reflects a preference for spending money to save time, the opposite of how most people operate. Studies show that the ultra-wealthy often seek partners who are health-conscious, intellectually stimulating, and emotionally mature, valuing these qualities over physical attributes alone. Contrary to stereotypes about trophy spouses, data from top earners indicates a trend toward partners close in their own age for deeper compatibility, seeking equals who can handle high-pressure lifestyles rather than arm candy. That brings us to the end of this video. For more interesting videos like this, click on the cards on your screen.